Welcome back to Rock Paper Swords, the historical action and adventure podcast, here with the Historical Novel Society Conference 2024. And now we've got Jane Johnson with us. Jane is a novelist, but she's also worked extensively in the publishing industry. I think you still work in the publishing industry?
Still doing it.
Publishing the likes of George R.R. Martin, Dean Koontz, Robin Hobb, Mark Lawrence, Raymond E. Feist, and many more. And for a long time was responsible for publishing the works of J.R.R. Tolkien, worked on Peter Jackson's Lord of the Rings movie trilogy. So with so much that you've done and are still doing, we'll have to get you back on for a full episode, if that's all right, because it would be brilliant to talk about all that stuff. But we thought just for now we'll have a little chat about your time here. And so first off, welcome. And this is this your first Historical Novel Society conference that you've been to?
No, I did Oxford. Was it 2016? Yeah.
Okay.
That was fun. Yeah.
And you've just finished doing your talk. So could you tell us a little bit about what the talk was about? What was the title of it? What was the subject?
It was called Breathing Life into Fiction and into History. And I have lived a lot of life, as you just said. And that didn't involve also my 20 years of living in Morocco and having adventures there and bringing everything that I'd learned about living between two cultures into the fiction. So I think that as writers, we are basically emptying ourselves out onto the page. It's a very personal process, although it's curated. And we are not our characters, as I keep trying to explain to people, that although they may be borrowing from some of my experiences, they are not me. But the more you can bring of your own authentic experience of the world to the fiction, the more it breathes. And that's basically what I was talking about.
Okay, that's really interesting. So do you think that's what people call voice? You know, when people say, "Oh, this writer's we've got a voice," do you think it's just their personal way of expressing the world?
Yeah, I guess so. But I mean, voice is a more technical thing in a way, in that every book is a conversation between you and the reader. And it's like being stuck with somebody in a railway carriage for an awfully long time. So, you know, I always know as an editor, when I read the first few paragraphs even of a book,
right,
that quickly, whether that is somebody I want to go on a journey with or whether I'm actually going to get off at the next stop. And I think when I'm writing, what I'm doing is trying to draw people into the conversation. Because it is a conversation, you know, people tend to think of writers as being up here somewhere and, you know, dispensing their stories and knowledge from on high. And it really isn't like that at all. What we're doing is saying, have you been to this place? I'll tell you what I know about this place, but you'll have to put some of your information and knowledge into it as well to make it really come to life. And then this person, can you see them? I'll give you a bit of description about them, but you'll probably see somebody a bit different.
Yeah.
But, you know, he's just walked in. Oh, look, see what she thinks of him. Ooh. And it's you're sharing with the reader, and you're trying to provoke a response and an engagement with them.
That's great.
We noticed on your website you wrote a couple of trilogies, but since then it's been standalone. So is there a reason?
What you mean? Well, I don't write trilogies now.
Yeah.
All the historical novels are standalone, but I have written fantasy trilogies.
Right.
I was Jude Fisher for a while, and
okay,
before that I was Gabriel King. So I have written other types of fiction in series, but none of my historical novels go together. They're all completely separate, and you know, they share themes, and a couple of them share one or two characters that just pop up again in an unexpected way, but that's just an Easter egg for those who know.
Yeah. So what's your favourite historical period to write about?
The one that I'm writing about at the time.
Right.
I don't really, I've written 12th century fiction right the way up through to 21st century. I don't really have a favourite as such, although I really loved doing the 17th century Restoration England and Morocco. It was fun to play with. the court of Charles II contrasted with the Moroccan court of the monstrous Moulay Ismail. That was huge fun to do, and I enjoyed the research, and I enjoyed being able to throw up the cultural contrast between those two in The Sultan's Wife. I don't know. I don't really have a favourite.
Which book is that one? The one that you said that you really enjoyed the research?
The Sultan's Wife.
The Sultan's Wife. Sorry, yeah. And how do you approach the research when
For each different book,
go into a different
period?
Yeah,
everyone's different. Some of them are very internet and book based, so where I actually have to research like a historian. And I am a very thorough researcher, as anyone who knows me will know. I think it comes out of insecurity. I'm not a historian, so I always write as if somebody who is a historian might be looking over my shoulder and go, well, that's wrong. And I don't like being wrong. So I will research and research and research, and it's like a compost heap. You just sort of keep adding to it, masses and masses and masses and masses, and then you just let it all compost down, and then you take from it what you need. I have to do that before I write. I know a lot of people write the story and then add in the detail, but I want to know where the research might take me off to some completely weird and unexpected place, and that's much more interesting as far as I'm concerned.
Definitely. Yeah, I think that's happened with both of us as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
You always find something.
It's
in
that
the
rabbit
research.
hole. It's
Yeah.
by far the most interesting
Yeah.
place. You thought you were going to that field.
Yeah.
No, we're going down here.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
We always ask this to our guests. Do you write when you're listening to music? And if so, what do you listen to?
Occasionally I will put on some Baroque because for some reason it just stills my mind.
Yeah.
But mainly I write outdoors by the sea. And I am within, I can see the sea just down below me from my allotment. And there's something about the sound of the waves and actually that huge empty expanse that enables my mind to drift into places that I would find difficulty otherwise fixing on. I'm very bad at concentrating. I get very easily distracted by just about everything.
Sounds familiar.
So that's why I write outside. So I'm not on the internet, and I can just try and go back into finding the story. But also there's something about the sound of waves releasing theta waves in the brain,
Yeah.
which is fascinating. Because I knew nothing about that, but I just knew that I liked to write by the sea because it just seemed to still me and enable me to write. So that's why.
I often listen to like white noise.
Yeah, definitely.
I do listen to music, but sometimes I listen to like rain
Yeah.
fall or waves.
Well, if I'm playing music, I don't listen to it after a while. It's just gone somewhere in the background, you know, and that's what you want.
That's
you
the
just,
ideal.
You just want to be in your own little world.
The minute you start hearing the music, you start getting distracted again.
Exactly.
And then
Can't have anything with lyrics. That would get right.
No,
in the way.
pretty much everybody says that.
Yeah.
It's just too distracting because you want to sing along or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I know we've both got loads of questions we could ask you about the films and about the editing. And so I'm really interested in the fact that you're both a published novelist and an editor. And so I think we'll save those questions for the bigger interview later on in another day.
Yeah.
But it's been an absolute pleasure you coming and having a little chat with us.
Thanks very much.
Thanks for your time.
Especially after just coming straight out. Straight in here.
Yeah.
Outdoors.
No, that was good. Thank you so much.
Thanks very much, Jane.